Alright guys, so for this project we're going to need our light bar. Now I chose the night light. This is the brand. I think it's 6.5 inches wide. It's actually a lot bulkier than I expected, but I think we'll make it work. It comes with exposed wires. You have your negative here and your positive. With that, we're going to need to power it somehow, and I chose not to use the bike's power supply, so we're going to use the talent cell. This one is the, I believe it's the 6,000 milliamp power supply. Here's the specifications if you need it. Everything will be linked in the description below. And it comes with this double male to female connector, and I'll show you how to connect that to the light. I like to use these solder and steel wire connectors, or you could use heat shrink or even electrical tape if you wanted to. But for me, since I had these for another project, we're going to either use these or these depending on the size of the wire. Connected to the power supply, I'm going to use this cable right here. Now you buy these off of Amazon and you'll have males and females, and you get like, I don't know how many, you get a bunch of them. I chose to use the female end. That way it connects like that. All right, and then once it's on the bike, I'll show you how everything's wired up. But for now, let's get this project going. Oh, a couple more things. You'll need a wire stripper and a lighter. So I went ahead and grabbed a fresh one just to show you, if you haven't done this before, it's really not that hard. And I wanted to let you know I am not an electrician, so mod at your own risk. You're going to want to split these in the middle so you have room to work, okay? And that way you can concentrate on each wire separately. So now we want to expose some of this wire, and this is, I think, 12 gauge, so we're going to put it right into 12 here, crimp it down and pull and pull. There you go. See, it slides right off. And then we're going to do the same to the other side, right in there, and crimp and pull. Now that we got our exposed wires, we're going to bring the light in. Okay, so this is the somewhat tricky part, but just be patient and you'll be able to get it to work. We're going to try these smaller ones, these sleeves first, just because it'll be cleaner. So I'm going to split it up a little bit more just so I can really get this sleeve through. Now I brought the exposed wire through. That way, when I connect this wire, I can just slide the sleeve through and then heat it up to melt it together. So what I'm going to do is going to give them a little cross here and a little twist, and then I'm going to push this through, and as I feed it through, I'm going to twist it as well, so it'll be a nice connection. There you go. You see that, guys? So now once we expose it to heat, this plastic is going to shrink and really make the connection tight. So let's go ahead and do that. Again, mod at your own risk, guys. If you don't feel comfortable doing this, obviously there's plenty of companies out there where you can buy a headlight, but I like to work on stuff on my own, and you get some kind of satisfaction from knowing you built something, right? Now, I don't keep the flame in one spot, keep it moving, and giving the plastic time to shrink and settle. But my heater kicked on. As you can see, the flame is like dancing, but give it a little tug, see how tight it is. Let's go on this side. It's harder to do with a camera in the way, but I will clean that one up later. And then you can always reinforce it with some electrical tape. Let's get these edges here so it doesn't. There you go. And now let that cool a little bit, give it a little tug. Like I said, we're going to reinforce it with electrical tape just to clean it up a little bit too. Now we're going to do the same thing on this side. Feed the sleeve in. I'm going to connect these together. I'm going to twist these together so they don't fan out while I'm trying to push the sleeve through. Okay. And now remember, as I push the sleeve up, I'm twisting too, righty tighty, lefty loosey. I don't know if it makes any difference, but it'll keep the wires from getting separated or fanning out. There you go. I don't know if you can see that. Everything is nice and tight in there. Now we're going to melt this together. If you wanted to, before you started melting everything together, you could even test it out, which we'll do before I melt this one. We're going to connect this female end to the supplied cord for the power supply. Take the other male end, make sure it's off, connect that, and now let's test it out. Moment of truth. Boom. Nice and bright. There you go. Now we know it works. I'm going to turn it off, disconnect it, come back to the wires, and now we're going to Alright, that's it. Now we melted it all together. Now we're just going to grab some electrical tape to clean this up over here. Then we're going to connect it to the power supply and then hook it up to the bike. Now in this case, probably heat shrink probably would have been better, faster. But I'm working with what I got, so. And there you go. All right, so now we got to mount it to the bike. A couple of things you'll need. You're going to need these headlight brackets. I bought these off Amazon. I'll link them down below. Make sure you select the 32mm brackets because they come in various sizes and you want them to fit the forks snugly. You'll also need washers. Now I had these laying around, so I used them. I have about 7 of them. The reason you'll need these or get shorter bolts, the reason you'll need these is because these bolts are very long. There's a mounting bracket that comes with the headlight that's meant for cars or trucks, I should say. Obviously I'm not using that mounting bracket, so there's all this space that you need to take up. So you're gonna need washers, or maybe there's rubber washers out there, I don't know. But like I said, I had these laying around, and here's the reason why. See this bolt? If you just use the bolt itself, that's as far as it's gonna go. So when you add that, when you connect it to the bracket, you're gonna have a lot of space. So you're gonna need washers or something to take up all that real estate. Now we cleaned up the cables, and I used, you guys know what this is, just some cable management stuff and some tie wraps. But basically This is gonna make it look nice and clean. And then we can mount it to the bike, and then mount the battery in a bag, or if you have the ERV basket or whatever it's called. I'm sorry if I butchered that, but yeah, that's how you mount it to the bike. Pretty simple, pretty easy. Now the beauty of this and this whole setup is I'm using this temporarily because I am going to switch over to the DIY cane belt. I decided that I'd rather go with round. I just wanted to play around and see how this would work. But if I ever want to switch back and forth just to change up the look, I can do that. The only thing I need to do is unscrew this, put the other headlight on, or vice versa. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed that. If you found this content useful, please, you know, like, subscribe, do all that jazz. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys did any other setup. I mean, that's the beauty of this community, is that we get to share our projects, we get to share our mods, and really make these bikes ours. I think that's the biggest draw for these bikes. They're already good looking, but there's always a little tweak here and there that you could do just to personalize it a little bit more. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.